Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 296. Yes, I am out traveling again, this time with my family for 2 months in Southeast Asia. So the new show over the next couple of months is going to be a little bit different, but I'm still going to bring it to you, of course. Because there has been so much great news for Tesla this week. They launched the full self-driving version 14 and came out with 2 new and more affordable models. On a global scale, they have overtaken Mercedes, are completely dominating in Norway, where 1 out of 3 cars is a Tesla. And Tesla has just delivered in Q3 their all-time high record in car sales. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Tesla revealed their deliveries and production for Q3, and it was a big beat. So Tesla shared that they produced over 447,000 vehicles and delivered over 497,000 vehicles in Q3, which is a new all-time high in deliveries, absolutely blowing expectations out of the water, with the Wall Street estimates being about 450,000 units. But someone like Bradford and Matt was very close. So people and so-called journalists that have been saying Tesla sales are collapsing have no credibility left. They can put their demand problem up where the sun don't shine, as it does not make sense to talk about a demand problem when they deliver an all-time high. This was even higher than Q4 of last year, where Q4 is usually the highest quarter of the year. So it will be very exciting to see what they can do in the last quarter of the year. Many will probably point to the EV tax credit in the US that was ending and giving all the credit to that for Tesla's great deliveries. But I still think that Tesla's launch of the more affordable models in Q4 will probably offset the losses in sales that the removal of the EV tax credit will of course do. But I will get back to those affordable models later. But Tesla sales in China and anywhere else will of course only continue to rise, especially with the new Model YL that has finally seen some momentum, as we did not see much of a rise in sales in the first 3 weeks. Only 850 was sold in week 3, and we of course had people that were quick to come out and call it a failure. But then in week 4, the production and deliveries of the Tesla Model YL, well, they sold 4,000 units. So that shows that Tesla is ramping up, and slow deliveries in the first few weeks was just because of that, not a demand problem, as 4,000 units in only a week in only China for one model is actually very good. Most other legacy automakers on EV startups would love to have a model that had that kind of sales. Remember, someone like Lucid in all of 2024 globally sold 10,000 units. So in only 1 week, in China, Tesla's Model YL sold 40% of Lucid's annual sales. Lucid actually only sold about 4,000 units in all of Q3 globally. So I think it's safe to call the Model YL a success. Now we just have to see if they can keep that up. So if you hear people like Fred Lambert saying that Tesla sales in China is collapsing, well, in September, Tesla was only about 1,200 units from making the best month so far this year in China, as Tesla sold about 66,250 units in September, narrowly missing out on their best month ever, that was 67,500 units. So the collapse of sales in China is also nothing but lies. But anyway, the 497,000 deliveries in a quarter for Tesla is an amazing achievement for Tesla, and really shows that Tesla is over their ramp of the refresh Model Y. So that is very cool to see. And also shows what I have been saying all year, that the demand problem the mainstream medias and haters wanted everyone to believe was simply not true. Tesla is already back in growth mode in Q3, which is 1 quarter faster than what I expected. But it was not only Tesla sales that was growing. Tesla deployed 12.5 gigawatt of energy storage product, a record for both deliveries and deployments. up about 60% year on year. And Tesla has already deployed more energy storage this year than what they did in all of 2024. So they should pretty easily get over 40 gigawatt hours in deployment this year. That is about $12 billion in profits in 2025. So to put that into perspective, Ford reported a net income of $5.9 billion in 2024, or EBIT of $10.2 billion in 2024, whatever you want to look at. So Tesla's energy business will earn more in profits in 2025 than Ford does in total. So I hope that can help some of the skeptics to understand just one of the many reasons why Tesla's valuation is so much higher than many legacy automakers, as they don't have a future that looks as bright as Tesla's energy business only. Now people who didn't have the foresight to see this was inevitable can finally start to see that Tesla's energy business is only in its infancy and will grow to become as big a business case than even the big boys like Toyota and Volkswagen. This year, Tesla's profits on their energy business will probably even outperform or be as big as Volkswagen Group's net income that was $11.6 billion in 2024. But when Tesla ramp up their new 40 gigawatt hour Megablock factory and their two others, Lathrop and Shanghai factory, they will have a capacity of 130 gigawatt hours, which will bring in close to $40 billion in profits. So when we get to that day, Tesla's energy will even bring in more profits than Toyota's monster profit machine, which in their 2024 year, which ended on March the 31st, they had a net income of $34.1 billion. So by the end of this decade, I think it's safe to say that Tesla's energy business will bring in more money to Tesla than what Toyota brings in total for their many businesses. This should show Wall Street where Tesla's energy business and Tesla in general is heading, because we should see something like $3.6 billion in profit in just Q3 from Tesla's energy business. So no longer just a tiny part of Tesla's business, but a very nice billion-dollar business all on its own. So much for Tesla just being a car company, even though they just made a record all-time high in deliveries of cars. At the same time, we can actually see someone like BYD slowing down in growth. That has been absolutely explosive over the last 5 years, but they were actually down 6% in Q3 year over year.
And imagine a world where your online activity is as secure as a locked diary. Well, sadly, that is not our reality. Every click risks exposing your data. That's why I trust a VPN to keep my digital life private. A VPN shields my email, banking accounts, and browsers from hackers, letting me work or stream with peace of mind. So I'm thrilled to share my sponsor, Private Internet Access, or PIA, a leading VPN provider. PIA isn't just one of the world's most trusted VPNs, it's also a pioneer in transparency. Their 100% open source software let everyone verify their commitment to privacy, a rare move in the VPN world. I use PIA myself, like when I was in China for my nomadic YouTube channel, because in China you don't have access to YouTube. So without a VPN connection to change my IP address, I would not have been able to do any work while traveling in China, or able to stream my Danish TV abroad, not keeping up with my sports. But with PIA, I just change my IP address and instantly unlock my Danish streaming service. It's also a game changer for accessing region-locked Netflix content, giving you a global library of entertainment. Without PIA, streaming feels like buying a VIP pass, but getting stuck at the gate. But PIA doesn't just hide your IP, it encrypts your entire connection, protect your data across unlimited devices, whether you're on your phone, your laptop, or tablet, and PIA works seamlessly with all major streaming platforms. So, ready to take back your online privacy? Well, click my link in the description for an 83% discount on PIA, just $2.03 a month, plus 4 extra months for free. And with a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support, it's a no-brainer. Don't let your data be an open book. secure it with private internet access today. And a big thanks to Pia for sponsoring this video.
But Tesla also had quite the week, with Full Self-Driving version 14 coming out and 2 new more affordable models. So firstly, Tesla launched as promised version 14 of the Full Self-Driving system. As Hashog wrote on X, Full Self-Driving 14.1, the first in the version 14 series, has officially started rolling out to customers. Many follow-up releases with significant improvements are in the works. These should ship through the rest of the year. Enjoy and look forward to your feedback. And it seems to be a very big improvement, as Zach wrote on X. 10 drives in with the Full Self-Driving version 14.1, and here are all my thoughts. First of all, wow, zero disengagement or intervention thus far. The confident and overall human-like driving is next level. The steering inputs are so smooth, braking inputs are earlier and more linear than before. It gives off Robotaxi vibes with how it navigates parking lots, plus how it drives and how quickly it backs into a parking spot. Such a nice experience to ride along with it. The Tesla AI team cooked with this update. It's phenomenal. Huge congrats to them for such an epic release. This is a huge update and I can't wait to drive it more. And Dirty Tesla also shared on X, not only can Full Self-Driving 14.1 pull into my gravel driveway, no version before has done this, it can pull into my garage. So this is one of the big updates with Full Self-Driving version 14, that you can choose your end destination. So if you wanted to park on the side of the street or in a parking lot or enter a garage, that is pretty sick. From what I'm aware, I don't think there is any other system on the planet that can do this. And it turns on extremely fast in the new version as well, as Dirty Tesla also shared. Gets in, put his seatbelt on and push the start button and off it goes. Very impressive. And Chuck Cook was also impressed with version 14 as he wrote, Full Self-Driving Supervised version 14.1 end of drive summary. Send it wide. This is too good to hold back. Game changer. Tesla AI, bravo Zulu on the job, well done. I'm ready for the Cybertruck now. But Shoya also shared that it even knows how to go through a drive-through.
Going through the McDonald's drive-through on FSD version 14.1. Saw Chris from Dirty Tesla try this, so I had to do it. Let's see if it'll stop at the order station here. Again, I'm not like telling it to do this. I just turned on FSD when I came into the McDonald's area. Rolling down my window. Oh my God.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. Are you going to be using the mobile app today?
No.
Okay, got you.
Can I just get one small fry?
Small fry?
That's it.
I'll set your first window then. It's just going to be $3.24.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh my God. He continued. I mean, the car must know, like it must, the mics or something must listen in, right? For it to know when to continue. I'll go full screen for you guys. You can see the blue glow with FSD version 14. I'm on standard mode, by the way. Crazy. Just waiting for the other cars. Okay. Just getting out my wallet. It's pretty wild. So, is it gonna stop at the pay area? Let's see. And then will it stop at the second window? And how does it know when the guy's handing me back my card? Are the cameras just watching me? All right, here we go. Again, I'm not doing anything right now. The car's doing all of this. Oh my God, it's stopping. Is it? How does it know?
Very cool. But Keys also shared officially confirmation by the UN that SIM on highway
entered into force September 26, with full self-driving version 14 just released this morning, and the announcement that end-to-end AI will be coming to Autopilot and Tag 2, will we see perhaps a step towards a better enhanced Autopilot full self-driving in Europe too? I sure hope that we will simply just get full self-driving version 14 supervised just on the highway. Would be a very nice first step here in Europe and will be so helpful on long road trips down through Germany. So very, very cool. Can't wait to see more about this new version update. But Tesla also launched not just one but two new more affordable models. A standard version of the Model Y and the Model 3, and the other version is now called Premium and of course the Performance. To begin with, they will only be available in the US for $40,000 for the Model Y standard, so $5,000 cheaper than the cheapest version before it. So this should make the Model Y's addressable market go up from about 10% to 20% of the addressable market. But Tesla didn't cheapen it in the way that many others do. To lower the price, the others make the battery smaller and therefore get some shitty range. But not on this one. It still get 321 miles of range because Tesla just made the car more efficient too. So it only have a 69 kilowatt hour battery. Of course it's 69, but still gets above 320 miles of EPA range. Very impressive. It does a 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, charged with 225 kilowatt peak charging speed. No screen in the back, of course, no front and rear light bar, no ventilated seat or glass roof, no sound insulation glass, and a bunch of other stuff. But it does not come with enhanced autopilot, but just traffic-aware cruise control. But you can, of course, buy full self-driving version 14 for it if you like, or just subscribe to it. But it does come with Croc integration. So, not a bad car, a very capable car. And the same thing goes for the Model 3, extremely good value for money. Now only $37,000 before any incentive. You probably remember Tesla said they would make a $35,000 Model 3 back in 2016, but in today's money, with inflation calculated in, that would be about $47,000 today. So this car is actually much cheaper than the original Model 3 for $35,000. That would be equivalent to about $27,000 today. But the Model 3 also have 321 miles EPA, so still very good range. But a Tesla for just $37,000 has access to about 25 to 30% of the addressable market. So it will be very interesting to see how much more sales this will give Tesla over the next year or so. Because some might not think much about it, because it's just a stripped down Model Y and 3. But the cost of owning a car is all that matters when it comes to the addressable market. It doesn't matter much if it's a hatchback, a SUV, a compact SUV, whatever. It's the price per month. And $5,000 might not seem like much, but Tesla has just increased their addressable market quite significantly. And they also need to make sure they don't create too much demand that they can't keep up with it in production. Don't forget, the average selling price in the US is $49,000. The average price. So Tesla set itself way below that now with the new models. So I think this is actually a perfect strategy, but there will of course be a lot of people saying this is not good and will be bad for Tesla sales, but I think this will work very well. But we will see how it all goes, and in about 6 months we will probably be able to tell if this was something that gave Tesla more demand. But a couple of very nice EVs for a very nice price. And the BEV adoption is speeding up in some countries, but for one automaker, there might be a hidden thread in this EV adoption. If you think the EV adoption in Norway was fast, well, like I have been saying for a few years, it is happening a lot faster in other countries now, like in my country of Denmark. Laraffen shared this nice chart, and as you can see, going from 20 to 80% BEV market share will only be about 3 years and 4 months here in Denmark. That is very fast. Norway did it first, of course, but it took them 6 years to do the same. In Denmark, in August, 85.1% was BEV, only 3.6 were plug-in hybrids, and 11.3 were ICE vehicles. So just like we have seen in Norway and other countries that are far along in EV adoption, hybrids are only a stepping stone between the past and the future. As you can see, the faster the EV adoption goes, the less the spike of hybrid gets. but the hybrids never really get above 20 to 30 or maybe 40% share before it drops back down. And this is actually something I think is a bit of a problem for someone like Toyota, because Toyota is not seeing any slowdown in sales just yet. Actually, they have some of the best years ever right now on a global scale, and that is all because of their hybrid vehicles. Like in Europe, 77% of Toyota sales in the first half of 2025 were hybrid vehicles, including both self-charging hybrids and plug-in hybrids. But battery electric vehicles made up only about 4.4% of the total. So in country like mine, where we are going all BEV in record speed, Toyota is down with more than 17% year over year in the first half of 2025, even though they are up globally. But the whole world is going electric, BEVs, and Toyota is not ready for it. Toyota is only at the stepping stone with hybrid, and will not be ready with their next EV platform before 2027 at the earliest. So Toyota will probably start to lose a lot of market share all over the world that are going electric fast. So Toyota might look strong now, as most of the world is still buying hybrids, but that will stop pretty fast in Europe and China over the next 5 years. But I don't think Toyota will be able to make the shift to BEVs that fast, as they have been delaying it for too long. So because they bet on hybrids, they are looking strong now, where we see Volkswagen dropping as they try to go BEV sooner than Toyota. But Volkswagen will be much further ahead in a few years in BEVs. The scale of production of BEVs when more markets shift in the coming years. So I think we could see Toyota drop in sales faster than anyone ever before it over the next 5 years. Or I could of course be completely wrong and Toyota is the one that has timed it perfectly. But I personally think they have bet too big on hybrids that are not part of the future but only a stepping stone to pure BEVs, as we can see in markets like Denmark and Norway and many others that have already done the shift. But Gefalia was also out saying that they want to make many different powertrains as their EVs don't sell as well as they hoped. Remember, Ford aimed for 2 million EVs in production capacity by the end of 2026. And half of their vehicles will be BEVs by 2030. But now Jim is pushing for hybrids in a new interview.
Will Ford strive, even if it's 2050, to be all EV? Is that the future, or what kind of decisions do you have to make now about what Ford is?
Well, we have to make those decisions now. You're absolutely right. We're a 5 to 10 year outlook company. Our products take that long to develop. Look, Ford has never made a statement about being all electric. We are number 3 in hybrids. 30% of all F-150s, the best-selling vehicle in the United States, are hybrid now. We invested in hybrid. We never stopped investing. We never saw our country being all electric or all combustion. That makes no sense. Customers in the U.S. are really smart. We want to offer them a range of vehicles. We will offer an affordable EV for city use. We've been number 2 to Tesla for 3 years on the EV side, and we learned a lot from the EV cycle. These $70,000 EVs with $30,000 batteries, that is not the future. We think E-Revs, hybrids make a lot more sense. And if you're towing a Super Duty, for your job, you're not going to want an electric vehicle, maybe not even a hybrid. So we need to offer people a range. And what we like about the government now, their position is, look, why don't we sell a more reasonable electrification footprint like hybrids at a natural demand? I think that makes sense for Ford.
So he might not think the future is 100% BEVs, but I surely think it is. Norway and Denmark are pretty much already there, so he is not going to sell his hybrid in my country anyway. It is a stepping stone, and they might be able to ride the train for the next 5 years or so in the US, but it will, in my opinion, make them go slower to pure EVs at scale, which I think will hurt them long term. But like Toyota, maybe they are just trying to make the shift less painful, but I still think it will make them smaller long term, as Tesla and the Chinese will gladly take their market share in EVs as the world is shifting to pure BEVs. as it is a far superior vehicle that is already cheaper to operate, and long term they will be much cheaper to buy as well. And with the hybrids you still have the maintenance that you will have in an ICE vehicle, and very little range on batteries. Who will want that as BEVs becomes more and more capable with range and charging speed, and is the more affordable choice? But we will see how it goes with hybrids, but as you can see here in Scandinavia, it is not going to be a long-term solution. And if you have the belief that EVs are slowing down, because you might have got that impression when you're reading mainstream media or listen to the legacy automakers. But here are the facts. A chart over EVs adoption, the fleet size in different regions around the world, and as you can see, there is nothing slow or slowing down here. This EV adoption is just shooting straight up. And Jim Farley was out saying that the Chinese competition is like a 700-pound gorilla in the EV industry. As Soars shared on X, Ford CEO Jim Farley said in a new interview, the competitive reality is that the Chinese are the 700-pound gorilla in the EV industry. There is no real competition from Tesla, GM or Ford. It is completely dominating the EV landscape globally and more outside of China. China is successful for a good reason. It has great innovation at a very low cost, Farley said. So that is all true, except the part that Tesla is not real competition. I think that comment will age very poorly in the coming years as Tesla start growing again thanks to their full self-driving technology that not even the Chinese have. And don't forget, all the Chinese have basically copied everything they know from Tesla. And as we have seen, Tesla is the only one able to stand its ground in China. So to say that Tesla is not real competition, well, I have to disagree strongly with that statement. But as he continued, there's hundreds of companies and they all sponsored by their local governments, so they have huge subsidies. It's new brands, it's BYD and Geely, and companies like NIO and Xiaomi, many of which have never been in the car business before, and that's a big advantage for them, he said. Yes, just like we saw in the mobile phone industry. Go back 20 years and the big names in the industry were Nokia, Motorola, BlackBerry, Sony Ericsson and so on. Today the names are Apple, Google, Samsung and many more. But the old ones are all gone. And I think that is exactly what we're going to see in the car industry as well, as Jim is also hinting to here. But he continued, they have far superior in-vehicle technology. Huawei and Xiaomi are in every car, Farley said. You get in, you don't have to pair your phone. Automatically, your whole digital life is mirrored in the car. We are in a global competition with China, and it's not just for EVs. And if we lose this, we do not have a future Ford. Yes, completely agree. But again, this is also true about your Tesla. They have far superior in-vehicle technology. But the thing about Tesla is that they are already far along the next innovation with autonomy. Here the Chinese are actually lagging a bit behind, not behind the legacy automakers that don't really have any full self-driving tech in-house, but lagging behind Tesla. And this is what will make Tesla the ultimate competition for everyone, and why I think Jim's comment on Tesla not being competition will age very poorly. And I squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. XAI is building Crocpedia, an open-source knowledge repository where truth is the mission. This will be available to the public with no limits on use. Its knowledge base is purely built on truth and facts. Soon, Crocpedia will be the most trusted source for everything, by every AI and every human for facts and truthful information. Crocpedia is a crucial step for XAI's mission, understanding the universe. The mission is, and always will be, the truth in its purest form. Crocpedia is coming. And Tesla has launched an update to the Model 3 in Europe, and features that they have improved is front bumper camera, turn signal stock is back, black front logo, and longer range with the new 82 kWh LG 5M battery. Long range rear-wheel drive now have 750 kilometers or 466 miles of WLTP range. The long range all-wheel drive have 660 kilometers or 410 miles of WLTP range. Performance 571 kilometers or 355 miles of range WLTP. Nice.
And Geely did also have a great Q3 and was in total up 35%, as Michael Dunn wrote. Geely trending to over 3 million vehicles and 500,000 exports for 2025. They are quickly becoming a juggernaut in the automotive industry. Other Chinese automakers that is doing great is Xpeng, as they have also set a new monthly record in September with 41,581 vehicle sales, marking a 95% year-over-year increase, and the first time Xpeng sold more than 40,000 units in a month. And Sindil from Tesla also wrote on X, "We expect our new Solar Plus Powerwall lease can pay itself off from day one, generating utility bill savings that exceed the normal lease price in many cases. In such cases, customers effectively get paid to enjoy clean energy, plus backup protection. Yes, from day one. That is pretty amazing." And in the rumor category, we are hearing information from Tesla supply chains that indicates that Tesla Optimus Gen 3 cost dropped below $20,000. If that is the case, that would be absolutely amazing. And Franz was interviewed and had this to say about Tesla's robot.
Truly being humanoid and on factory floors and in people's homes.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredibly fast-paced, but the progress is unbelievable in the short amount of time that the team has been working on it. And we've been growing the team and building the project at the same time. And I think the things that we're working on are really incredible, and I think we're breaking ground in this space every day. The team is really energized and fired up. Elon's incredibly involved in this, and it's a great project to be a part of, and seeing where the future of humanoid robots is going to go and how it's going to enrich our lives is super exciting.
Sounds like Gen 3 robot will be epic. And a Cybertruck was delivered to a person in Africa. Well, nice. And Tesla Manufacturing shared this video of how they have already improved so much on their manufacturing at the Gigacastings in Berlin.
Hi, I'm Srujan. I'm a manufacturing designer from Casting. So welcome to Giga Berlin and the most automated Gigacasting shop in Tesla.
What we had in the beginning was basically a bimanual system with the conveyor belts and then a manual rack loading basically. So the dream was for no one to touch the part basically onto the RPC side. We already did an upscaling of an existing process with the die casting machine, and we thought, why not do that exact same thing again with the trim press. And one has to be the first. It's not easy, and we had to do it while producing obviously more cars and keep producing cars. But in the end, it always is possible. We take out the part now with our Robot 1. We put it onto the quench tank, we laser mark it, we take it out with Robot 2, put it into the trim press. Robot 3 takes it out into the automatic quality controls, and then directly onto the lifter up to the overhead conveyor. It brings it directly to the RPC in the body wide side, where it's also fully automatic unloaded.
With one cut, with one movement, we have reduced cycle time, we have better quality, and a far reduced footprint.
We at Tesla already had a very advanced die casting process. With this new advancement, we are even better.
But Tesla in Norway is also having an absolutely great time, as Tesla completely crushed its competitors in Norway. Last month, 1 in every 3 cars sold in Norway was a Tesla. Holy shit, talk about domination in a country that is almost 100% BEVs. That is very impressive. And we saw this chart this week that electric, medium and heavy truck have doubled so far this year. But as Dan Priestley also wrote, total cost of ownership is already better for EV trucks for many applications. Transition will be faster than most expect. Yes, exactly. Commercial users only look at the spreadsheet, and electric trucks will take off very, very fast. The demand for Tesla semi-truck will be extremely high. And while Tesla is making an all-time high in EV sales, we can't say the same thing about the Germans, as Alex reported. Volkswagen sales in the US shrunk year over year
in Q3 by 6%, and that is not just BEVs but overall. And Audi sales remains flat. Volkswagen's group BEVs in the US in Q3 was down 16%, and the BMW brand was up 24%, but their iX BEV sales were down 33%, not having huge success with their EVs in the US. And Porsche has revealed their first electric Cayenne SUV, and it does seem to have some nice specs like 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds, but I also think this is a very good demonstration that legacy automakers, that they just don't know how to make smart software features, so they try to compensate, like this 14-inch curved flow screen, the largest display in a Porsche. Why would they curve it? It's simply just a bad design in my opinion. And Volkswagen Group Carriage software unit is holding in-house development, pivoting to coordinating external partners like Rivian and XPeng, as announced by CEO Oliver Blume on October 4, 2025, amid persistent delays in EV launch such as the Porsche Macan and Audi Q6 e-tron. Volkswagen keeps its controversial software arm Carriot, now acting mainly as an integrator of partner code from companies like Rivian and XPeng. So all the talk about how they would be able to make everything Tesla had in software with their Carriot software company has been an absolute failure. They have been doing it for about 7 years and had thousands of software engineers working on it, but like I have been saying on this channel for 5 years, is that you don't become a software company overnight. Software is hard and good software is extremely hard. And also just funny to see all the trouble the legacy automakers go through not to partner with Tesla. Volkswagen have partnered with Rivian in the US and XPeng in China and Mobileye for full self-driving tech and OpenAI to integrate ChatGPT. Instead, they could just have partnered with Tesla and got everything in one software package. But Volkswagen would rather go the slow and expensive way than partner with Tesla. But now Volkswagen is giving up on making their own in-house software. What an expensive failure. And another German OEM that is stumbling in Q3 and was overtaken by Tesla for the first time ever, it was Mercedes. We have seen Tesla sell more than Audi before, but not Mercedes, but as AJ reported, Tesla outsold Mercedes-Benz Group for the first time. Mercedes reported 441,500 car sales in the third quarter. Tesla reported 497,099 sales. This implies Tesla sold 55,000 vehicles more than Mercedes. Tesla sold 12.6% more vehicles. In the third quarter, Mercedes car sales decreased by 12.3% year over year, while Tesla's car sales increased 7.4% year over year. Mercedes made its first car in 1901. Tesla did in 2004. But in China, where we all year have been hearing about Tesla's demand problem from the haters, Tesla outsold both BMW and Mercedes in China. In the third quarter of 2025, BMW sold 147,000 cars in China, Mercedes sold 125,000 cars in China. Final number for Tesla have not yet been released, but available weekly data implies that Tesla sold over 170,000 vehicles, likely closer to 175,000 vehicles in China in the third quarter. This implies Tesla sells about 16% more cars than BMW in China and more than 1/3 more vehicles than Mercedes in China. So guess it was not Tesla, but the Germans that had a demand problem in China. But Mercedes also had a bad quarter overall, as Alex also reported. Mercedes-Benz with disastering Q3 sales. Global sales were down 12%, sales in China were down 27%, sales in the US were down 17%, sales in Europe up 2%. Global sales of BEVs unchanged. So Tesla is now bigger than both Audi and Mercedes on a global scale, as Audi only sold 404,000 units. So if people think Tesla is the one having problems, they should be very scared for the Germans. That is now smaller than Tesla. Next up is BMW that did deliver 514,000 units in Q3, so let's see how Q4 will turn out. And Elon shared a video of Optimus doing some kung fu. Very cool, and Elon confirmed that it was not Taylor-operated, but 100% AI. Of course, this has been trained many times over, but the robot is controlled by AI. And we did see what Tesla was training for with the Optimus, as it showed up to the premiere of Tron and wanted to start a fight. Very cool to see this little gig for the Optimus robot. And Tesla China also shared on Weibo. Tesla is working to expand its humanoid robot fleet with plans to launch the third generation by the end of 2025 and start mass production in 2026. So that is still on target. Can't wait for this future we are heading into with Tesla. And as Ashok also wrote, just the beginning. Once the AI model for self-driving and Optimus unifies, it's going to be fire. Yeah, things are about to get wild. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my new supporters of this channel. My new YouTube members, Raina Slingor and Howard Ellis. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. We humans are capable of incredible, amazing things. Here is just one example of one amazing dive. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheets also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.